Okay, so on this one, 4 partners are dividing a $1 million property using the loan divider method. So again, the loan, one person divides, right? One person divides the land, however he or she wants, divides, and gets last pick, right? Gets last pick, so makes them all the same, right? So that's the loan divider method, means one person does the dividing and he or she will make them all the same in his or her eyes because he or she gets last pick. All right, so the first question is, who's the divider? Who is that person? Who's got them all the same? Can you see? Yeah, it's Danny, huh? At least on mine. Danny has them all the same. Danny's the only one that he thinks all of them are worth $250,000. That's his opinion, right? So there was some, again, there's some big piece of land. Here, I'll draw a piece of land again. So there's some big piece of land. And Danny's coming in and he's kind of breaking it up. However, like that, and piece 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, however he broke them up. Danny thinks they're all fair. See how he's the one that made them all the same? So Danny must have been the one who divided the land because he knows he gets last pick. He's going to cut up the land in a way that makes all 4 pieces of the same value, at least in his eyes. Now, again, you might think, well, 4 is clearly smaller. Well, maybe there's gold on that land. Who knows? You know, there's just something, at least in Danny's eyes, that makes that piece more valuable, right? Just like candy, right? You might value a smaller piece of candy if you like the flavor better than a bigger piece of candy that you don't like the flavor so much. Same thing with the land. So at least in Danny's eyes, all 4 of these pieces are of equal value, right? They're all worth $250,000, $250,000 in his eyes. He would do that because he gets last choice. So he was the divider. Okay. Coming on down, next question. Assuming all players bid honestly, that like that's what they really think they're worth, which piece will greedy receive? So greedy. This is a little tricky, huh? Here's what we want to do to end. This is where it gets a little more tricky. What is a fair share in this problem? Yeah, it's 250 or more. Right? 250 or more, because why? Because that's 1 million. So that's 1 million divided by 4, right? A fair share means everybody gets equal, right? So you take the total amount. Remember, fair always means the total divided by n, which is the number of people, right? So now if you want to use your calculator, 1 million is this, right? Divided by 4, and you'll get 250,000. That's the technical number. It says these are already in thousands, right? So 250 is good enough. Is that making sense how I came up with that? I took the total amount, 1 million, that whole group of, that whole properties were the $1 million divided by 4, because there's 4 people. You got 250,000. These are already in thousands. It says in parentheses there. So 200. So my point is, a fair share is 250 or more. Okay, so here's what you want to do. You want to go up and circle the ones that are fair for each person. We're not dividing up yet, but let's just get going. So Brianna thinks that one's fair. And that's it. That's the only one Brianna thinks is fair, huh? For Brianna, that's the only one 250 or more. How about for Carlos? Which ones do he thinks is fair? Carlos likes this one or this one. Right? Both those are 250 or more. So Carlos thinks piece 1 or piece 2 are both fair, but he would not be happy with 3 or 4. Remember, fair is 250 or more. Danny thinks they're all good, right? He's the cutter. He thinks they're all fair. And how about Greedy? Greedy likes this one, and this one. But he doesn't like piece 4. Okay, so is there a way that everybody can get one of those circled sections? That's the question we're trying to answer. And there is, and let me circle it. First off, Brianna has to get, the only one she thinks is valuable is this one. So she has to get that one, right? That's the only one she thinks is fair. So let's go down to Carlos. Which one does Carlos have to get?
Number 2.
The number 2 then, because piece 1 has already been taken. Brianna gets piece 1, right? Then Carlos gets piece 2, right? Because he was happy with 1 or 2, but one was taken by Brianna. Let's skip Danny. Danny can take any of them. He was the cutter. He'll go last. Let's go down to Greedy. So what is Greedy going to take?
Number 3.
Piece number 3, because 1 and 2 were already taken. So Greedy's going to go right there on piece 3, right? He would have been happy with 1, 2, or 3. They're all 250 or more in his eyes, but 1 and 2 were already taken. So he takes 3, and then last is piece 4. Who's going to take that? Danny, because Danny thinks they're all good. He cut them. And so there we go. So which one is Greedy going to get? That was piece number 3, section 3 for Greedy. And so that's how we do it. So notice it's all about fairness, isn't it? So you got to take the $1 million, right? I took the $1 million divided by 4, got 250,000. So 250 or more is fair. And then I just circled all the ones that were 250 or more and found a way where everybody could get one of those sections. And I also knew who the cutter was, Danny, because he's the one that had them all the same. And so there we go.